Yay! It's a celebration. Life is the beloved that can't be seen appearing as what can be seen, but isn't real, is just an appearance. You are the beloved appearing as everything that appears to be in form, but you're formless. Your spaciousness, your eternity. You're not in the body. You can't die. You're invincible. And it's amazing how obvious it can become that this is not happening. And it's empty, but it's full. So it's not real, it doesn't have meaning, so it's playful and it's alive and it's free to express whatever's immediately being expressed. And when the meaning appears to dissolve, the dialogue in the mind can quiet. The dialogue that's saying should and shouldn't, or right or wrong, or it should be this way. It's like, it's so obvious that there's no one listening. And there never has been. Like, even it's obvious that thoughts arise from nothing, are nothing, disappear back into nothing, are already nothing. And what's listening to it? Nothing. You can't even find what's listening to the thoughts. There is nothing. It's emptiness already, appearing as thoughts. Totally impersonal already, always have been. And there never was a thought, because nothing happened before this. It's just this, immediate this. There is no past, so there is no story. But to point to the apparent recognition that there is no one, that there never has been anyone in control or with volition, and that this isn't really happening, and that it is play, it is just for fun. To point to that using stories and how it can appear gradual, or it can appear that it becomes obvious how much energy was spent on seeking or resisting what is, because when there's no resisting what is, and there's an allowing, a natural unfoldment of whatever's appearing to happen, and it's just completely free to be, it's so obvious how much energy was spent on resisting that, or saying, no, that's not it, this isn't it, this sad feeling or this doubt or this negative thought isn't it. But then it's the recognition that it is it, it's everything that you resisted, and so everything is already home. So there's literally no problems, there's nothing to worry about, literally nothing to worry about. And so that's when it can be seen how much energy was spent worrying or problem solving or shouldn't, and being so busy. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. Because when, and no one's listening, I mean, the thoughts still arise, but there's no one listening. And so it's just innocent, it's just impersonal, and everything is allowed to play. Everything is free to be whatever it is. So there's no, there appears to be no stressing out about stuff, or, and so much more freedom for the character to play with hobbies, or, qualities come up that were repressed too, that you didn't know were there. And it just kind of almost like lives to the fullest. It's like life full on. So it's like yeah, it's just free to do whatever, uninhibited. And also when the me apparently dies, everyone dies. There's no one. So no one's looking. There's no one. Everything is just free to be wild or behave in whatever way. It just doesn't matter. And there's no holding back. There's no filter. So it's just like, blah, it's like, it's freedom, total freedom, no consequence, no time, so there's no responsibility for behaviors because there is no one. And this isn't really happening. It can't get any more free than that. You're literally nothing. You can't get freer than that. Nothing is total freedom. This is nothing appearing. This is nothing appearing as something, but it's still nothing. It's not tangible. It's not solid. It's not real. It's never doomed. It doesn't have a story or a circumstance or a problem. It never did. It never does. And it's just on autopilot. It's so obvious that it always, even in the story, it's always been just doing itself. You can see how thoughts have nothing to do with what's appearing to happen. It's singular. So each appearance is, whatever's appearing is everything, is whole and complete, is everything that could possibly exist, and nothing else exists. Nothing else is there is no other or outside of that, because there's no outside of what is. You can't get outside of what is. So whatever's appearing is everything. So there can be a feeling of completeness or contentment with what is, because there's no searching for other or something else. So there's no more seeking, so it can just be, it's just satisfied. And sometimes that can appear to gradually unfold. It's not always like immediate, like it's not always an explosion where you're just drop into all of this like instantly. Sometimes it can appear gradual, where the beliefs and concepts are falling away, so the meaning is falling away, and then the listening to the thoughts are quieting, or softening. And then there can be just this recognition that it's literally everything. So it's like everything that arises is instantly included, and no more pushing it away, no more saying that's not it or that's separate. So it's literally no separation, very literal. So, and there can be a subtle joy or a subtle being in love with even the negative stuff that's arising. Like if there's a feeling of sadness, it's like a child that throws a tantrum and it's over in a couple minutes. Like there'll be a wave of sadness, and it's almost like underneath it's like I'm turned on by it or something. It's really strange because everything's allowed to just be free. So it's like, it's beautiful. And everything that you resisted before, you thought was naughty or bad, is allowed to play. It's allowed to be. So the character can just, behave however, even in inappropriate ways, and it just doesn't fucking matter, because there's no one in the body doing it, and there's no one trying to control it, and there's no one watching it. There's no more self-conscious of being inhibited or shying away from things as much, because it's like it's not saying anything's wrong, or because there's no wrong or right. It just, nothing matters. And that's freedom. And it's also in loveness. It can feel like an intense being in love. Like this character can feel very intensely like a feeling of ecstasy sometimes, where it's just like overwhelmingly in love, like almost like it's painful. Even with the tree or the table or the car. It's everything. Whatever's appearing is in loveness, appearing as an apparent object that's not real. It's not really an object. It's just energy playing with itself. It's in loveness playing with itself. It's the divine pretending that it's something. The unreal pretending that it's real, or the infinite that can't be seen, dreaming that it can be seen, the formless dreaming that it is in form. It's a beautiful play of a love story for no one. It's delicious. It's beautiful. And it's so easy and simple and ordinary, because it already is this already. There just might appear to be a pushing away what is happening or what is appearing, which is just the pretend veil of separation. That's pretend. It's not real. Nothing can be separate. And even that is freedom. Even that is freedom, pretending. It's already free. Every expression is innocent. It's wild to express whatever. It's like a soup of all qualities. And it's all included. Nothing's left out. And there's no volition or control. So it just spontaneously happens. So even these words, have no effect, because it's singular. It's everything. These words are everything that could possibly be. And they're appearing and disappearing because they're not really happening. But if there's a resonance with these words, then that's what's appearing to happen. Then there's a waking up appearing to happen. And it's just singular. It's whole. It's whole and complete. It's everything. It's so beautiful. Yay, I wanted to add to that, that when there's apparently no me getting in the way of what is, apparently, which was never really happening because the past didn't happen. And there is no me to get in the way of anything. It's just that filter of resistance appearing impersonally already. It's nothing appearing as resistance. So freedom appearing as resistance. Automatically, like no one's doing it. No one's choosing to do that, because there is no one already. But when there's no more of the apparent dialogue of should and shouldn't, it appears that life is effortless, that it's fucking easy, because there's no middleman trying to be in charge. And so it can appear that everything's falling into place perfectly and easy and fast, because there's no one resisting what's happening. And it's kind of like a little magic trick, because it's not that you're creating it or you're manifesting anything, because that's not happening. That's not real. There is no creation. It's just, life's just doing itself as one whole. But it can seem that everything is just effortlessly flowing, because you're not freaking out about making things a certain way. So it appears to be that you're like more laid back. So it's like go with the flow, or whatever you want to call it. It's just like things are just falling into place because there's no one trying anymore. And so it can be like an optical illusion of wow, it's like all working out now. It's because you don't give a shit anymore. So whatever's appearing to happen is perfect. It's great. And it's the automated life of the character that's just naturally unfolding already, you know, but there's just the removing the person that was trying to get in the way of it, you know. So it's just life just happening. Life's just naturally just happening. I just wanted to say that there's no beef with seeking, and this was seen so clearly by no one when it was so obvious that there was no me. And this, oh my god, extreme case of seeking. It was fucking hardcore, dude. It was like obsession with liberation. Like 6-hour-a-day sadhana. No one could fuck with me. I had to meditate. I had to do all these rituals, whatever the hell was happening. Reading all the ancient Advaita texts, and oh my gosh. It's beautiful. It's beautiful because it was revealed how too easy it is, too simple. And it's just resisting what is. So basically the seeking is implying this isn't it, and saying that even the seeking's not it, when it is it already. It's freedom, 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 everything. Everything's freedom. And it can just be so obvious. It's just all of a sudden, holy shit, wow. It was screaming, everything was screaming at me that it was it, that this is everything. Immediately, whatever's immediately arising, including seeking, including feeling stuck or feeling like this isn't it. That's it. That's where it's pretending to hide. And it was like once that was seen, it was like boom, game over. It's literally everything. You can't escape freedom. So even the seeking is it. It's fucking beautiful. It's so fucking beautiful. That's where the words "a love story for no one" appeared to happen, because it seems like a love story, because it's like the beloved pretending to forget itself or lose itself and like desperately search for itself by already being everything. I mean, how beautiful is that? Yay. I wanted to talk about the pretend identity of me, which is just a story that didn't really happen, because all there is this. Nothing happened before this, and this isn't even happening. These words are appearing and disappearing. It's empty. It's not really happening. Your whole life didn't happen. You weren't born. You didn't have a story. The body just appeared. It disappears and appears throughout the day, but can go unnoticed. So the story, or the apparent my life, is very simply, and this what is it called? Not realization, but this clear obviousness appeared to happen when it was so obvious that there's no time. But okay, so all there is this, what's appearing to happen, this, and this is timeless, this is beingness, this just is, it is, and you can't know it, it just is. It's just energy appearing as this. It's not solid. It has no story, it has no context or substance. But when there's that veil, that pretend veil of separation, which is this just resistance to what is, and the meaning, and the trying to know it, the unknown trying to know itself, which is freedom trying to know freedom, which resists it, because it's saying this, what's appearing to happen is not it. And that veil of meaning makes it appear real, or caused, or that you think you know it, so there's like a deeper meaning to it, or so it's this, what's appearing to happen, which is not really happening, it's not real, and gluing yourself together or attaching to it as this is really happening to me. This is a real event that's really happening to me. And then storing it in this library and called memory of my past, which is not real because the past didn't happen. Nothing is happening. Even this isn't happening. But it's like attaching to what's appearing to happen and holding on to it, holding tight, which seems to take a lot of energy because it feels heavy. Like the whole, so it's just storing all these appearances, which are appearing, disappearing, and is timeless. This, holding on to it as my life story. This happened to me. All these events happened to me, and it made up who I am. And that's just an idea. And it's literally, even the memory of it is a new thought, which didn't happen in the past. It's not a past event, but it's a new thought appearing now. It's this now. So yeah, there is no person, there is no story, there is no my life. You were never born, none of those things ever happened. It's amazing. And you never had a thought, you never had a fear, you never had an accident, you never did anything wrong, you never did anything right, you never did anything. Legit, it's literal. It's too literal, too simple. The mind abstracting just assumes continuity, assumes and pieces it together, which is like the glue piecing the film strip together to make a movie. Because all it is this single frame, whatever's appearing, just this, singular, and there's literally nothing else. There's literally no other than this. You can't get outside of this to be something else, to be separate, and all there is what is. All there is what is. And you can't get outside of what is to know it or change it. Because you are all there is. You're everything, which is nothing, which is the beloved just playing with itself, the formless pretending to be in form, appearing as everything and no separation, whatever's appearing. So yeah, it's a trip when it's just so obvious that there was no story. It's like, holy shit. It's like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. There's literally nothing to hold on to. It's like nothing seeing nothing, or the infinite seeing itself as the infinite. It's just it's like a total, I mean, it can be a non-event too. It doesn't have to be an explosion or like a holy shit. But for this, it was like, oh my God, how fucking obvious too. How obvious that even the thoughts are arising from nothing, just spontaneously and disappearing as nothing. And it's just too obvious that all of this is arising as nothing. It's beautiful. This turns everything that you thought was real inside out and upside down. And it destroys it. It's crumbled, which is freedom. And that heavy backpack of bricks that you were carrying, called my past or my life story, just falls off and it's weightless. And that's when it can be recognized how heavy it was, when that tension dissolves. It can be seen that it was there in the first place, but it wasn't at the same time because none of it happened. It's just the infinite dreaming this, the infinite formless dreaming that it's form, and it's not really happening. the past never happened, which is freedom. Even those words appearing and disappearing didn't happen. It's just this, right now, this. It's amazing. And all reason, all meaning dissolves, which is the veil, the pretend veil of trying to know, which resisted what is. And then there's no resistance, so it's just totally free and boundless, as it always has been, because even the resistance is freedom. It's seeing that everything is it already. The longing is it already. You are what you've longed for already by appearing as everything already. So in the story, if it appears to be gradual, which it appears apparently different for everybody, it can be very seem fast or seem slower, but it can be almost like a death where it's like, holy shit, the whole life was just an idea, just a concept, it wasn't real. And then every one that was being related to, all the relationships are just an idea, a story. All the apparent characters are this same nothing appearing as everything, infinite, formless energy. It's amazing. Even your kids, if you had kids, it's just like, holy shit, I never even had kids. It's just a story, an idea. And then just this unfoldment of total in loveness with everything, because it's all the same. It's all the same lover being everything that appears. A love story for no one. I'm excited for live meetings, and I will, when those get booked, if it spontaneously arises, I'll post here. Yay. And if there's resonance and an urge to book a one-on-one session, you can go to my website or follow the newsletter for the live meeting stuff, or Patreon for group meetings. You can join that, or follow on Facebook where there's appears to be writing happening. It's such a celebration that you're already free. You're nothing but freedom already, and it's so easy. Freedom's too easy because it just already is everything. Whatever you're feeling right now is it, screaming. It's amazing. Mwah.